Welcome to CitySpeedView. Welcome to Johannesburg, South Africa. Joburg, Gauteng, Egoli, Iravutini, or just simple Johannesburg. The metropolitan heart of northern South Africa is our last destination in this beautiful country. Today we introduce to you what makes Johannesburg a wonderful city with an unprecedented history and culture. We are starting in the southern part of Johannesburg, CBD. CBD stands for Central Business District. First we will see the old mining areas, followed by a small stop at Gulf Reef City and the Apartheid Museum, till we return to the CBD, Constitution Hill and Braamfontein. In 1886, Johannesburg was founded as township by the Boer government. In 1887, a newspaper called The Star started publication. The Theatre Royal opened, the construction of St. Mary's Church started, and the Johannesburg Stock Exchange was founded. 10 years later, Johannesburg Park Station opens, which is still Johannesburg's central train station. In the following years, the Zoo of Johannesburg and the Transvaal Technical Institute were established and the city got their own symphony orchestra. It took until 1928 for Johannesburg to reach the status of a city. We are passing Gandhi Square, named by Mahatma Gandhi, who came to Johannesburg to fight for the rights of a black family member. He decided to stay to fight for the rights of the black people. His office was very close around the corner of Gandhi Square. Also, space science found its place to grow in Johannesburg with the start of the Johannesburg Planetarium in 1960. In 1981, the Subtitles and in 1982 the City Press newspapers began publication. Both are still two important newspapers of the Republic of South Africa. We are driving on Market Street, one of the major roads in the Johannesburg CBD. The structure of Johannesburg suburbs, as it is known today, was planned in 1999 by the city manager. His program called Egoli 2002 extended the city to an area of 1,645 square kilometers, stretching out from the southern Orange Farm to the northern Midrand. The headquarters of the city management team is located in the Metro Center complex in Braamfontein, responsible for overall administration, financial control and supply of services. Major services like the fire department, ambulances, the Metropolitan Police and cultural heritage like museums, art galleries and other heritage sites are all controlled by separate departments. Johannesburg's society is divided. The southern suburbs are mostly inhabited by poor people. The middle class lives in the central or northern suburbs. 1 of 4 people was unemployed in 2012. Most of them are young people. Where 20% of the people living in abject poverty, we have around 40% of people who are living in inadequate housing. Joburg has a growing public transportation system. It started with the minibus taxis and metro buses and now continues with the Ria Via bus service and the Gautrain train and bus service. This is the Carlton Center, a former huge hotel which closed in 1997. Today it's the home of Transnet, the South African train company. It includes also a shopping mall at the top of Africa, a sightseeing platform with an incredible view around Joburg. We are reaching Newtown, the first part of the cultural heart of Johannesburg. This is where a majority of the city's museums are located, including the Africa Museum, theatres and the Sci Bono, a science centre made for young people and with the education purpose to bring science closer to South Africa's youth. We are leaving the Johannesburg CBD to go to our next destinations named Gulf Reef City and the Apartheid Museum. During the apartheid era, Johannesburg was divided into 11 local authorities, 7 of which were white and 4 black or coloured. In 1995, the first city council after the apartheid era started to work. One city, one taxpayer. The slogan was adopted by the council in order to highlight his primary goal, addressing unequal tax revenue distribution. We are passing the mining area, where hundreds of gold seekers have risked their lives 150 years ago. Some of the mines are still visible today. Now we are reaching the Gold Reef City Casino and Hotel, built on an old gold mine which closed in 1971. Gold Reef City is the biggest amusement park in the Johannesburg area. This is the view from the Apartheid Museum over the city. The museum complex is illustrating the apartheid era and the 20th century history of South Africa. It opened in November 2011. We are returning to the inner part of Joburg to see our last two destinations, Braamfontein and Constitution Hill. Braamfontein, the central suburb, is the cultural heart of Johannesburg. It includes the former sea Newtown, the University of Witwatersrand, Constitution Hill and the Civic Centre. The Nelson Mandela Bridge connects Braamfontein with the city centre. The name Braamfontein dates to 1853 and was the name of the farm from Geert Bezuidenhout. We passed the Joburg Theatre, which is one of the country's prime theatres with a count of 1,200 visitors daily. The Nelson Mandela Theatre is inside the Joburg Theatre. One of the most important music and acting schools of the country is located in Braamfontein, the National School of the Arts. We arrived at Constitution Hill, which is the home of the Constitutional Court of South Africa. The old fort is one of the historical buildings on the hill. It was also used as a prison and known as Number 4. The fort was declared a national monument in 1964, but continued its functioning as a prison until 1987. Constitution Hill also opened a museum in 2004 and offers tours to 3 prison museums. We are on the way back to the city centre. Time to have a look to Joburg's public transportation system. Minibus taxis are transporting the people from all around into the city and are the most used transport inside the city, together with the metro buses. Since the World Cup in 2010, the Ria Via bus service is also connecting the southern townships of Soweto with the Joburg CBD. In 2011, the Gautrain started to operate. It's a high-speed train connection between Joburg and Pretoria, which passes the distance in 40 minutes. Gautrain has also introduced a bus service that connects his train stations with the near areas around the stations. In the last years, the bus service expanded more, and especially to areas that were only reachable by minibus taxis before. We have our last view over the southern area around Joburg before entering the city centre from the southwestern. Joburg's wonderful designed southern skyscrapers welcome us again. Let's have a last skyline view over Joburg. The day is coming to an end and the sunset moves over to the night of Johannesburg. For us, it's time to say goodbye. Our journey continues in Milan, Italy.
Look around, do you feel the nature of a sound? Radio or laser, slow and fast, think of the exponent. Dial last, the sigma component. And everything's an ongoing revolution of varying a constant frequency solution. We spin around as the order changes, we're decaying strings, and that's where it begins, the complexity of things. Once you know the meaning of the sentence, around you go, a radical is the entrance. On your watch, the hands are irritating very much, the way they are rotating until they stop. And everything's an ongoing revolution of varying a constant frequency solution. We spin around as the order changes, we're decaying strings, and that's where it begins. And here's where it begins, the complexity of things, discovering reality, a symphony of relative momentum. Here's where we can draw the line.